What's up, you guys? Nicola Maserati here. So today we're going to be taking a little break from the editing content and the editing tutorials and stuff like that, and we're actually going to be talking about my 5 tips for shooting videos for real estate. Doing real estate videos has been a really big part of my freelancing business, and I've learned a lot over the last few years of doing it. So I just like to teach you guys a little bit about some of the stuff I've learned, and hopefully some of these tips can help you to make some awesome real estate videos. But before we get into it, let's run that intro. All right, guys, so like I said, today we're going to be talking about my 5 top tips for shooting real estate videos and video home tours. But before we get into all that, if you enjoy this kind of content and you want to see more, make sure you subscribe and hit that bell so you can be notified every single time I upload a new video. All right, so tip number 1 is shoot wide. When I say shoot wide, usually the wider the better. So for example, for all of my real estate videos, I use the Sony a6500 with the Laowa 9mm zero distortion. Now, the Laowa is a manual wide angle lens that gives zero distortion. I absolutely love this combo. So even though this is a 9mm on the Sony a6500, because it's a crop sensor, this comes in at about a 13mm. So if, for example, you're shooting on a Sony a7 III or a full frame camera, you can go for a 14mm. I would say probably stay from anything higher than 16mm. When I first started shooting real estate videos, I was actually using the Sigma 16mm on my Sony a6500, and that came out to a 24mm, which for real estate isn't that great because you want a wide angle lens to help make the space look as large as possible. So make sure you shoot wide. Tip number 2 is to shoot in a higher frame rate. I usually shoot in around 60 frames per second. And what that does is that allows you to slow it down in post so that everything can look as smooth as possible. And tip number 3, use a gimbal. Using a gimbal can help smooth out those images that would normally happen when you're holding a camera handheld and moving around and stuff like that. Now, although you can use things like warp stabilizer in Adobe Premiere Pro, I usually wouldn't recommend it for really shaky handheld footage, because what happens is things can get all warped and distorted. All right, tip number 4, use manual white balance. White balance can change from room to room, so make sure, even though it takes a little extra time to change your white balance while you're shooting, it's going to save you a lot more time in post having to color correct and do all that stuff in Premiere. I promise it'll take you a lot less time to adjust your white balance in camera than it will to go and do it in post. And so last but not least, the final tip number 5, use movement that simulates human movement. So when we're shooting a real estate video, we want to simulate exactly what it would be like if somebody were actually doing a home tour in person. So when somebody's actually doing a home tour in person, they're not walking backwards out of a room. That was one of the mistakes that I made when I first started shooting real estate videos, is I would sometimes move backwards. That's not a natural movement when somebody's touring the home, so don't do it. Focus on pushing in, panning, and parallax movements. There you have it, you guys. Those are my 5 tips for shooting real estate videos. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you got something from it. If you did, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and I will see you guys in the next video.